What do y'all think of my idle animation? Right? Honestly, if I hadn't dyed my hair, I'd be a dead ringer for Axel right now. This isn't like Rock Critic coming back. I just like, you know, I had the jean vest available, so it only seemed like appropriate and like, man, you know, I've lost a lot of weight, but my arms are still way too flabby to be going sleeveless. Heyo people, and welcome to this review of the latest game in the Streets of Rage series, Streets of Rage 4. Another game review, and if I can be honest, I wasn't originally planning for this to be the next video I was going to put out. I was going to work on another request rundown, and that's still coming down the pipeline. Sit tight for that. But I don't know, I heard this had dropped. It's currently on sale on Steam for like 10% off, and its starting price is only around 25 bucks to begin with. So, you know, I figured what the hell? Between the price and another reason I'll soon get into, you know, why not? I do enjoy the Streets of Rage series. I've played the first two games way back in the day, like back in the 90s on the OG Sega Genesis. I've always had a fondness for this series. I do enjoy Streets of Rage. I'm honestly more of a Final Fight guy, but oh, do we have to? Are we gonna have this argument? Do we have to have this argument? They're both good games! But yeah, while I can't say this was a title I was exactly on the edge of my seat for or anything, I was interested to see how this was going to pan out, particularly after hearing the announcement vids and seeing that this game was coming to us from French publisher Dotemu and Lizard Cube Games. See, I remembered those names from back in 2017, their remake of Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap. I had heard really good things about that game, so they definitely had my attention. These guys seem to know how to do retro fairly right. Granted, I haven't actually played that game either. I've played the original, but I haven't played the remake. I don't know, I meant to get around to it, but like, shit, and like, things, life kind of got in the way. Professionalism is for the weak. But yeah, people, we finally have a long-awaited sequel to a property that Sega has just been sitting on ass for the last 26 years. A lot of people were waiting to finally play a Streets of Rage 4. Is it worth the wait? Maybe not like 26 years worth of wait, but I don't know, I can still say it's pretty solid overall. What we have here is a classic, old-school-ass, 16-bit style beat-em-up. Like, classic with a capital C. It's not about flashy combos, it's not about juggling opponents, or building character stats, or upgrading progressions, or skill trees, or anything like that. It's cut, dry, simple, plain as day, walk right, punch all the things, beat 'em up. Simple as that. It's really got that classic Genesis feel. It's not a complicated game by any stretch of the imagination, but I can respect that. It knows its heritage and it knows what it wants to do. It gets in, gets out, and more or less does it pretty effectively. If you've played all those old school Streets of Rage games from back in the day, you can pretty much just pick up your controller and settle right back into its old school punchin' dudes groove. It really ain't no thing. Honestly, this feels like the closest thing to a direct Streets of Rage sequel that you could probably ask for if you love the classic, the old school, and I mean old school feel of those 16-bit beat-em-ups. Man, this really captures that spirit right. It really feels just like good, simple, basic fun. Maybe a little too too basic in places, if I'm being honest. See, if this were the first of its kind and a brave new trend, I feel like this would be very inventive and very unique. People often forget that, with the advent of the 5th generation of consoles and the rise of 3D gaming, the beat-em-up genre stands for a few experiments here and there, like Fighting Force and Dynamite Cop. Like, I don't know, old school scrolling beat-em-ups just evaporated for a long time there. Once 2D went away, man, they just could not think of a way to make brawlers work. The genre never really had its Mario 64 moment, so it couldn't thrive in the new era. So, yeah, people forget, for a long time there, we just straight up didn't have brawlers. At least until, like, the Xbox Live Arcade came around and Castle Crashers and other games like that kind of burst open the dams again. If this had come out around the same time as, like, Castle Crashers and, like, a lot of those really early, like, retro revival beat-em-ups, or if it had come out around that time, I feel like this would have been very exciting. But it didn't. It came out now. And Castle Crashers is how old? That's the thing with this game. It is very meat and potatoes. You have a basic story campaign, basic online features, basic unlockable extras, basic. If you've played any other modern beat-em-up over the last 5 years, you've probably played something like this. It's very Charlie Murder, it's very Mother Russia Bleeds, it's very River City Girls even. The simple fact of the matter is, well, yeah, the beat-em-up genre did go away for a while there, but not anymore. It's back. And it's been having a weirdly decent resurgence here in recent years, particularly on the indie scene. And while this game is very solid, it is a nice little beat-em-up, please don't misinterpret me. I did like this game, but it sure is just simple. Again, maybe that's not a fair comparison, but when it comes to modern beat-em-ups, at least the ones I've played, this doesn't even hold a candle to the likes of, say, the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game, or Double Dragon Neon. Holy shit, people, like, okay, you want a good-ass retro-style beat-em-up, you want that game, go get Double Dragon Neon, like, right freaking now. Oh my god, that game is so good!
I'm your worst nightmare!
While the game is certainly good, I will vouch for it, it's also not, like, crazy good. I've played better in my day, and whether you're judging this game by retro or modern standards, it's just not the best title you could pick up, to be honest. It's got some of that old school clunk to it that people who are used to the modern wave will probably find archaic and needlessly frustrating, like the slow movement of your characters, the lack of moves or general variety in combat, the simplistic fighting engine. There's a lot of people who will be turned off by that. And meanwhile, the changes in art style, tone, and the subtle changes made to the control scheme will likely be a turn-off to the old fuddy-duddies like me. Seriously, you pick up objects with a separate button, like, I could never get used to. Look at my footage and look how often it shows me throwing away my weapon for no damn reason. That just hurt my old fart brain, people. It doesn't hold the best appeal for the new generation, and it doesn't really satisfy the old generation entirely. It's a game without a country, and a short game at that, too. I bought this on Saturday and basically beat the entire story campaign and unlocked all the classic Streets of Rage characters in around 4 hours. Not a completionist run, but wow, did I get the most out of this game in a really short amount of time. Like, there's just not a ton of content behind this game, but here's the thing. Like, I feel like I've been talking this game down a bit in this review, but the thing about it is, it's $25 on PC right now, and there's a 10% off sale to boot. It's not the flashiest game in the world, but it does do a really good job at capturing that old school Genesis brawler feel. And save for a few hiccups in like the online mode and whatnot, I mean, yeesh, check out that frame rate, ooh, yikes. It's not a game without its problems or its issues, but at the end of the day, it's fun, it's kinetic, and it is a genuinely satisfying 4 hours. This game would be a cracking great, like, couch co-op game. Like, this would be great to pick up for when you have friends over, when you can have friends over again. This isn't a game for everybody. This isn't a game I, like, have to insist you go out and pick up right now. But, you know, this thing does have its audience, and I feel like it will satisfy that audience. If you got $25 just burning a hole in your pocket, well, I'd honestly probably recommend you pick up Double Dragon Neon and Mother Russia Bleeds first. Those two combined actually go for what Streets of Rage 4 is going for now, I'm just saying. But regardless, if you're really into beat 'em ups, or if you're just a big Streets of Rage fan and, you know, you need to see the old crew back in action, you know, like I said, I'm not a super fan of the Streets of Rage series, so that might be coloring my opinion here a little bit. But if you are into this, if this sounds like it'd be something that would be up your alley, regardless of its issues, I still feel like it's worth the price of admission. It's not Game of the Year material, not for me at least, but it is pretty fun, it is pretty solid. Fans of the genre will get what they need out of it, and it does have a fairly banging soundtrack. Yuzo Koshiro, the original game's composer, did step in for a few tracks on this one, and it shows. I certainly didn't walk away from this unsatisfied, and Lord knows I've paid, like, way more for retro games that were way less playable. Say what? Hey, if this sounds like something that would be up your alley, I say, feel free to give it a shot. Streets of Rage 4 gets 3.5 missing skates out of 5. Seriously, where's my boy? I played him all the time in Streets of Rage 2. Where's my boy? What did you think? Was this game a rager, or was it more of a Crow City of Angels? Oh god, I can't even say that with a straight face. It's not that bad, people, I promise. Whatever you were feeling, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell while you're at it. In the meantime, though, I'm Crash Thompson. I'll see you in the next video.
Super special thanks to Brandon Brownfield.